Hi, Alan Pettingale of Specialised Masonry Restoration, yet on another project. Today we're on a 1923 historical building. We've been called in to deal with the chimney, deal with the flanking wall that is rotating away due to failed bricklayage, to repair cracks all around the building and just in wear and tear be able to keep it in a working capacity.
A view of the south elevation of the building by the swimming pool. Specialised Masonry Restoration briefed the customer as to the full scope of works to be carried out on his house.
Hi, my name's Alan Pettingale, and today we're working on a different case. We're down in Dallas, down off Live Oak in Dallas, working on an old two-storey house that was built in 1929. Now this is a little bit different than most in the fact that it has a basement. The basement itself is acting as a support for the brickledge. The basement now is starting to show deterioration, is cracked and is pulling away from the brickledge, so it's not supporting the masonry anymore. SMR now are going to take a remedial approach on how to repair this, working with an engineer, Mr. Tom Witherspoon, PhD, that has put together a repair strategy and done the investigation. If we come over here, as well as with having soil, this is the catchment area. The catchment area itself is for moisture that can be retained in here without being able to escape. This over a period of time with freeze and thaw cycle could really aggravate the area, because once the moisture gets into the concrete, then we get a severe freeze cycle, can cause stress line fractures, and over a period of time can end up with segments like this actually falling off the wall. But the interesting thing is with this, that the brickledge itself has been actually formed and supported and cut off at the bottom. I don't see another piece coming down. So what we're going to have to do is dig down, bring this back up into place, reform it, and then re-brick this across to support the actual masonry so that no long-term damage will be a problem again. But in doing so, it was noted on the survey that there does have cracks on the inside, so there is a lot of external pressure pushing on the basement wall. The crack itself on the inside will be repaired using a Seeker or a Simpson ETV1 product that will actually be injected within the cracks.
We had to remove the masonry very delicately as it was just hanging on the brickledge. The masonry veneer was supported by vertical shoring. Bricks were removed and cleaned for reuse later. The new brickledge was formed and was ready to be poured with matching coloured concrete. When the new concrete brickledge had cured, Specialised Masonry Restoration replaced the brickwork with matching mortar to match the rest of the house.
Okay, so how we're going to repair this is called crack stitching. The crack stitching itself is drilled with an actual half-inch hole followed by a number 3 rebar, which we're going to insert into the hole all the way up using a twin pack epoxy resin from Simpson. First of all, when you actually drill a hole like this, you must ensure that the hole itself is blown out using compressed air. So most times it will be inserted all the way into the hole to the backfill, making sure that it is blown out all the way so that we get a good fix with the actual resin and the tie to be inserted. The ties that are going to be inserted are going to be cross-stitched. Cross-stitch would be something like this, as you can see, embedded in the concrete, one from the top, one from the bottom, causing a crisscross effect and keying this back into place. Once we've actually started with the resin to key this back into place, we're going to actually use a specialised tool. This is from Simpson. It's a Power Plus 7000. The Power Plus 7000 itself
is operated by a battery which is able to dispense special doses within the actual resin. You can have it high flowing, low flowing, and what happens is that this ET22 resin is actually put in like a cartridge and slipped into place. Now normally, because it comes with a long nozzle itself, we have had to extend the actual nozzle of the Simpson because the resin itself is mixed within the actual tube. It has a mixer and then it's dispensed out of the end. But we want it to go deeper within the hole, so what we did is we attached a plastic hole. What I'm going to do is show you briefly how this works, and what we'll do is we'll work back to this hole here. We'll insert this tie. You always ensure that no debris is in the hole so that when you come to actually start the job, you know that it's clear. So what we're going to do here is straighten out the actual nozzle, and then what I want to do is just actually lock this in place, push this forward and press the button. The beautiful thing about this is that, as you can see, it starts to mix in the tube all the way through. It starts as a white, then it starts going to grey to show proper dispensing. As you can hear the motor come out, because we are actually trying to apply a large dose of mortar into each hole. So what we're going to do now is dispense a little bit down here and stop it, knowing that that's there, and we're knowing that we've got a nice colour. In doing so, then what we actually do is place it into the hole itself, making sure it goes all the way down to the bottom. Then what we do is we pull back approximately 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and then we start dispensing. The operator can feel that it's been dispensed all the way up to the top. It doesn't need to be fully all the way to the top, and in doing so, what happens is that we can then be able to insert our number 3 bar, turning it clockwise to ensure that we get a nice flow of resin. That's not to waste your resin. It's nice sometimes just to take this, roll it onto the next tie, so that then we can actually use it on the next one down. But as you can see, we are getting some resistance, and that's what we want. So what we'll do with that is we'll gently tap it into place, make sure it's down a little bit more, and then cap the top, and repeat this process with all 36 ties that you can see right across the wall. A view of the anchors inserted into the damaged concrete. The cracks were filled with a hydraulic cement and repainted.
Okay, on the last series we looked at arches. One of the main problems that we're going to carry on with in this series is one of the main areas that get affected, which people don't see, is the chimneys. The chimneys get wear and tear. This chimney's been here 100 years, and as you can tell from the sides and then back and everything, wear and tear of the mortar beds is starting to erode. Those starting to sort of affect the integrity of the chimney. SMR is going to take the chimney down, replace the flashing and replace the brickwork back into section so that it'll be usable, recapping it as well.
A side view shows bricks ready to fall off, and the weight of the satellite dish was not helping the problem. The chimney was removed and the bricks were cleaned for reuse later. New galvanized flashing was installed. Specialized Masonry Restoration rebuilt the chimney with matching mortar and repainted the chimney cap. On the back of the house was a large chimney that was in need of repointing. the old mortar had eroded over the years. The old mortar on the chimney was ground out and washed down with water to remove any debris. New matching mortar was applied to match the rest of the house.
One of the things that I've always said about in America, that we do have cavity wall tie corrosion. In extracting the bricks, what we did find was that the old ties had actually failed and were corroded away to nothing, leaving the small end here, and as you can see it's attached onto this one using normal actual nails. The nails themselves have been pulled out because they've been under pressure, yet this tie itself has failed. Now, one of the main things that I'd like to show is that this is rebar that has actually been brought into the masonry. The rebar and the concrete now are tipping, causing a lot of pressure. It's our job to try and cut down the side of the actual concrete to alleviate the rebar and the pressure, and reincorporate the brickwork so that this itself will not cause any more problems long term.
Specialised masonry restoration cut a horizontal line across the concrete so it could move independently and not affect the brickwork. Sections of damaged masonry was taken out and repaired with matching mortar. On the side of the house, a fall pipe had been discharging water into the planter at the base of the grade beam, and had caused a bit of foundation movement that caused the masonry damage to the arch and the corner of the building.
Okay, one of the things that we tend to notice about masonry and its ways of moving, the masonry veneer itself is sitting on a brick on a shelf angle, and in doing so sometimes it causes a bit of foundation movement which causes it to rotate. In this area, as you can see, we have actually step-lam bricks where it's actually popped itself out. Now, remembering that these bricks do not have a frog and they do not have an indentation, so they're just sitting on two flat panels. When we get moisture in between the two actual joints, this allows it to be able to help it to assist to move more than normally would with a normal bonded sand and cement. As we can notice, as well as we just highlighted out onto the side of the actual grade beam, when the actual masonry veneer and the structure moves itself, we do get signs of it going at its weakest point. In this case, it's gone at its weakest point above the arch and trying to push the actual brick sill itself out. In doing so, we are going to actually restate the masonry and the crack and the sill back into place, and at the same time we will put some mortar bed reinforcement across the joints to stabilise it and hold it for the future.
The sill was reinstated and the arch was ground out and ready for mortar bed reinforcement to be installed to give this section of masonry some strength. This is a picture of the finished repair to the arch and sill with matching mortar. Dr. Reeves' historic house was repaired and finished.
Well, I hope you found this video helpful in understanding just what we do at Specialised Masonry Restoration Historical Division. Should you have a contract or project in mind, feel free to contact us. Thank you very much.